these things are true. The world is dark, and we are Sounds Obtuse Podcast.
Welcome to the Sounds Obtuse Podcast, Spooktacular. First off, we got some breaking news across the news decks. We can't just bypass this.
There's
Dylan,
no way we can not talk about this.
please take it away. My co-host Dylan, by the way. I'm Chris. Breaking news. Let's get into this.
We got to get right after it. This is just across the wire. Alec Baldwin fired a prop gun that killed one crew member and injured director on Russ movie set. Officials say. Washington Post reporting.
That's right. Star of 1988's Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, has murdered a man and injured someone else.
Injured another.
Former Trump impersonator has killed another human being.
I feel like I really wish we had time to get after this. Like, we saw this as we sat down to record.
Yeah, like we're about
this
to be like, okay,
in.
this is it, and then bam.
I wish we had like 5 minutes to just like Google drunken Alec Baldwin problems. And just to see the mountain, like this is probably, there was probably signs. The red flag memes are going around. I feel like they,
yeah,
they definitely
red flag,
applied to Alec Baldwin.
Killing a crew member and injuring your own director.
He's gonna star himself in a movie about this event. I
what
shit
the
you
fuck?
not. I shit you not. He will star in a fucking movie about this event. Guaranteed.
How does that happen? I mean, not since like Brandon Lee during the filming of The Crow has this happened, right?
Like, oh, hey, did you put blanks in the prop gun? Blanks, what?
Like, how does this happen in 2021? Just starring one of like the biggest,
something. Oh, I feel like either something or a lot of things had to have gone wrong.
Horribly wrong.
There's no way this is just a normal thing. Like,
no way.
it doesn't make any sense to me. I can't believe it. I just want to.
I can't either, honestly.
I gotta skim this. There's
like killed a man.
Actor and producer Alec Baldwin shot 2 people on a film set in
a
New
movie
Mexico
he
on
produced.
Thursday after discharging a prop firearm. One person died and another is undergoing treatment for his injuries, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office confirmed.
So he paid for the bullets that he used to kill a man, basically. That's what you're telling me.
What the fuck?
I know. Like, how does that just happen?
Helena Hutchins, 42,
oh, man.
director of photography, was pronounced dead at the University of
She wasn't even like
Hospital
in the scene.
after being transported via helicopter. Director Joel Sousa, 48, was transported by ambulance and is being treated for his injuries at Christus St. Vincent Regional Medical. Officials said. I don't understand.
There's a lot to grasp.
I'm terribly sorry. I am reading this piss poorly because this is just happening.
Like moments ago.
I don't know why. Like, this is just fucking crazy.
It's wild. It's insane.
Talk about spooky.
Yeah, that's some scary
Alec
shit.
Baldwin with a gun. Well, that'll fucking scare the pants off anybody.
Imagine you're the director photographer on set and you're thinking like, man, one of the great thespians of our time, Alec Baldwin, and then he kills you.
One of the great fucking Vicodin champions of our time as well.
Like, wow.
I'm Alec Baldwin. I love Vicodin.
Wow. Insane.
So that's what's happening right now.
I thought I had a really spooky news story to bring to you. The spookiest I've heard.
Scarier than Alec Baldwin with a gun?
I mean, it's hard to top that, honestly. I don't think it compares. Because, again, Alec Baldwin, much like Bill Clinton, I think, and the Clintons, killed a man.
I mean, a lot of people say they killed a man. I don't think
so.
Okay. Are you thinking of Dick Cheney?
Yeah, I know he shot a guy, but confirmed Alec Baldwin definitely murked somebody.
He killed a man. He is a confirmed killer. Just in time for Halloween. Maybe do you think it's just to just for
PR stunt?
PR stunt?
Might be a PR stunt.
What the fuck? How dare you, Alec?
They're trying to make it like the next Poltergeist. Like, oh, people died on set.
This
is
is
a spooky
insane.
movie. Ooh.
Rust.
Yeah.
Fucking. Okay.
Well.
So, aside from that, Christian, how have you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Been better. It's been a busy, crazy week. I think for all of us.
We apologize to the viewers. It has been busy for us.
It's October. I don't know about you, but I've been decorating. I've got the skeletons outside. I got the, the animatronics. They got the spider, the witches, the fog machines, all that stuff.
It looks great. It's fantastic. Got this witch that's just like keeps cackling and freaking me out.
Yeah, fiber optics, the whole shebang.
In October, I also spend most of the time up in Maryland at the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, you want to give us a little update about that?
I mean, honestly, not too much. I did get to experience it for the first time out of 5 years, right? First time in the rain.
Ooh.
But I had a poncho, thanks to my girlfriend. She always thinks ahead, stuff like that. She was like,
that's great.
Started raining. I was like, man, this is rough. Got our special day planned. It's going to be putting a damper on it. No, she's like, no, I got the poncho right here. You just whip that shit out.
Got the poncho.
Be all right. She was all over it. She is not as big a Ren Fair fan as I am. But she had a good time.
I can see that.
She actually got, you can definitely see it. So she actually got into the bagpipes though a little bit, which kind of touched my heart. The band I was plugging last time, Valkyric.
Were they there?
They were not, sadly. Oh. They were not. They were in Ohio. Fuck you, Ohio. We're just joking. We fucking love Ohio.
Browns won tonight.
They did win tonight. That was a hell of a game too. Came down the wire. Very excellent third down conversion at the end to fucking clinch it. Loved it.
Victory formation.
That was good. That was some good shit.
And then Alec Baldwin just killed a guy.
And
here we are.
Holy fucking shit. Yeah, and other than that, no, we just been busy. Chris and I work at the same place, and we've been hella busy because the company knows best, and they've decided to take every single manager in our store from every single department and send them to a new store in Richmond. So if you're in Richmond and you see a Food Lion, tell that new Food Lion to fuck off and maybe send their managers back to the stores though they fucking are needed.
I hear it took them like 4 years just to get that shit situated.
That was a brief digression on my part. I apologize.
And the back room can fit like 4 pallets.
Is that what they say?
So fuck them. Yeah.
Peggy's told me some stories that are just fucking crazy. Like they're just like, she's like, anyone want to come like help? And no one's like, no, we don't.
No,
well,
y'all
can
can
drive
take care
there.
of yourself.
I don't fucking care. I'm not driving there.
So yeah, it's been a busy week for both of us.
Work
wise, personally wise. A lot of stuff going on this month.
I have a bunch of parties coming up.
We're
gonna talk about this in the pod too, talking about like Halloween parties. But I have so many Halloween parties coming up, so many things that I'm
costume parties.
Possibly got a costume party coming up next week. This week I got 2 parties back to back.
Oh, one of those is a costume party?
No. It is not these.
Okay.
But it's still sort of Halloween because
it's like if you wanted to dress up, nobody really bat an eye.
Nobody really bat an eye, no. So
like, oh, cool, he's a zombie.
But it's just like I'm dealing with a lot more parties than I'm used to, so I'm not exactly like Mr.
Let alone
Popular.
2 in the same night.
2 in the same night, yeah.
Who are you kidding? You're Mr. Popular.
Maybe I am.
Don't downplay it.
Maybe I am.
I would agree.
So yeah, so it was actually my mistake. Last week I totally did not think about what time of the year it was, and I said we were gonna be talking about patriotism next time.
We spooked you guys. We fooled you. We pulled the rug out from underneath you. Got him.
So that's my fault. I did not realize we gotta have a Halloween episode. How can we not? Spooktacular.
We got to.
We got the spooktacular going on this week. Patriotism's going to be coming up. Don't you guys worry. I'm working
Elections
on that
right around the corner, guys. Don't forget to
yeah,
vote for your state elections.
Yes.
Enforce your patriotic right
to
vote.
Do you want to plug a candidate or no?
I don't want to just yet.
You don't want to plug a candidate?
After I vote, I'll choose the guy who won and say I was right with him all the time.
All right. Well, for the love of God, please don't vote for baby Trump fucking Glenn Youngkin. Please don't.
Don't know who that is.
That's good. Keep it that way and just don't vote for Glenn Youngkin.
All I know is there's this blue-haired chick with her face.
Oh, Webster.
Probably.
Or Weber or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah. Dr. Ella. She's local.
The hues of her hair speak to my soul.
That is one of ours. That is a local politician. And yeah, fuck yeah, plug her. Dr. Ella. Yes, we support you and we hope that you do great in your election coming up. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
We'll discuss that at a later date.
We will.
But for now,
spooktacular.
Spooky. Yeah.
That's what we're doing today.
Spooky talk.
What are we actually talking about? We keep saying spooktacular.
Just scary shit.
Because it sounds great. But what are we really talking about?
So, not just Halloween, but what it means to us. What it means to us as we were kids. What it means to us now. I mean, what it means to us when we, got to that age where we stopped trick-or-treating, but still really wanted to, kind of kind of freak out once a year.
Absolutely.
Dress up, get a little crazy, maybe throw some candy at kids or steal some candy, you know, whatever your prerogative is, that sort of thing. But also, you know, just kind of like talk about the seasons, maybe some of your favorite memories, favorite decorations. If I can steal a line from Scream, what's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Right now?
If you want to.
You want to lead off with that? What is my favorite scary movie?
Yeah, what's your favorite scary movie?
So I don't actually have one.
Interesting.
I don't have a favorite scary movie because, and this is a whole topic, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I don't believe that horror films should be a thing. I don't believe that the horror genre is done enough justice by a feature-length film.
So I'll agree with you there, and this is a new development in my own person because
I'm glad you're going to say this.
Because
I'm excited about this.
So you talk about like typical movies. You think of your slashers, right? Your big four. You got Jason Voorhees, you got Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, and I would even put Chucky in there.
Chucky is like one of the big four.
I would think so.
Leatherface.
We're talking about slashers who have outrun their course and somehow stood the test of time.
I don't know. That fucking Annabelle doll's getting up there now.
Yeah, but she really killing people.
I don't know, fucking bitch.
Exactly. She's not really doing it. She's not giving me quips as she slices a virgin's throat.
She's not.
You know? Freddy Krueger.
She got no fucking quip.
Yeah,
game.
Freddy Krueger.
No quip game.
He'll shove your head through a TV and then say, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." You know? Like Michael Myers, sure, he doesn't either, but anyone to like push someone out of a 2-story window, that's all justification I need. Chucky, and the reason I mentioned Chucky, I would consider, because like who else is really slashing, like, you know, ad nauseum?
I get it.
Not many people. So for sure he'd be like, you know, your fourth option, but I think he's eligible for the big four. And the reason I say that, because of those big four, Chucky, not necessarily my favorite scary movie, definitely my favorite slasher. He has a television show now. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So one of my favorite characters is Chucky because he's so funny. He's just the idea of it's in and of itself a killer doll based off of a good guy toy, right? Goes around killing people. So now he has his own episodes, like a whole series based off Chucky. I've seen like 2 episodes, out of order, of course, but it really made me appreciate how fleshed out they can get this character.
So I definitely agree with your sentiment because although I haven't seen this show,
yeah, that's just like a
as
most
I
recent
was
example.
As
Very
I was
topical.
saying, I believe for look, I enjoy writing. I especially love film. I'm a huge film buff. Horror is not something that I critique very often because I'm just not a huge fan of horror films.
In a 90-minute motion picture, you have to really pick your moments.
Yes, and here's the thing with horror films. The 2 main things you have to get across are you have to bond the audience with the characters, right? And you have to develop a story that makes them care about what's happening. That's the 2 things you have to accomplish in a successful horror movie. Now, there are movies that have done that in a feature-length film, but it's incredibly complicated. It's incredibly difficult to pull all of that off in the way that it should be done. I'll give you 2 examples of when it was expertly done outside of feature-length film. You open it up now. I'm talking miniseries. Don't kill it. Don't go overboard. Don't just keep having this reoccurring bullshit. Miniseries. And The Haunting of Hill House and
really
The Haunting of Bly Manor. Oh my God, they're fucking good. They are amazing TV. Definitely something that I love to throw on every year. There may be one coming out. I don't know.
I'm sure they're gonna milk it for all it's worth.
I haven't been keeping up with it though. It usually comes out around Halloween. I haven't been keeping up with it. Possible that we're not getting one this year, but it is a fantastic show. Both of them are so good because you have the amount of time with the characters to care when shit happens to them, and you have the amount of time to care about what is happening to them. And that's why I firmly believe I always said I don't like horror, and then I watched The Haunting of Hill House, and I said, you know what? I don't like horror movies. You give me a horror miniseries, I will gobble that shit
So
down.
I think that's kind of like what I was like mentioning. Like you said, you have these slashers who have appeared in 5 to 8 films. to the point where it's just like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, they kill people.
But again, it gets. We're talking like, you have like a 13-episode miniseries. That's the length of 8 films, and it's more cohesive because you're not like stepping on other directors' toes and figuring out, logistics of the mythologies and things like that.
Is that canon?
Yeah,
I don't believe that's actually.
Exactly.
That's not actually canon.
Is this a soft reboot?
Is that? I mean,
everyone
knows that the original Michael Myers would not have acted in that fashion.
So we're just gonna go with 1 and 2, skip 3 through 8, and then we're gonna just pick up a 9. That's technically the 3rd movie now because everything else has been
and
retconned.
Fuck all of that. Fuck all of
Yeah.
that. Give me a series that has episodes that have numbers, and I'm fucking in.
And it's an interesting point because, like, you see the house on Bly Manor and that sort of stuff. It's all new. It's fresh, right?
Right.
But you take a property like Chucky, who's been around for 20, 30 plus years.
Revitalize it. Exactly.
You revive. Like I said, I've been a pretty big fan. Bride of Chucky's one of my favorite films. And then you have the Son of Chucky, which was like, a lesser extent. They had the reboot, of course, with Aubrey Plaza. But now you have this series that has him doing things that, would not be possible to explain, let alone just like the logistics of how he got this stuff in a 90-minute feature. But allows him to explore his personality instead of like 15 minutes on camera of him doing things and really, honing his technique of A, killing people, and B, making a mockery of it at the same time. You get a series where it really fleshes out his personality in doing so.
Know your villain too. You really got to know your villain. Can
Like-
we also just a brief digression, because I think we have answered the question of what's our favorite scary stuff. At least you're talking about Chucky. I'm saying.
Not my favorite, though.
It's
my
not your
favorite slasher.
Well, then get to the point. But I did want to say, just for real quick, can we just make official thing here? She is an incredible actress, among other things. Can we make Aubrey Plaza an official babe of the pod?
Man.
Not the official, but one of the official babes of the pod.
Stacey Pilgrim can serve me a caramel macchiato any day of the week.
Okay. So we're aware. Aubrey, we love you.
We do. So, if I can just kind of just give an example, and then I'll give actually my favorite movie.
Wait, are you going to do an Aubrey Plaza example? Okay,
I'm
thank
not.
God. Okay.
So, say for
Carry
example,
on.
just like Chucky, real quick. The first episode I saw, it was like kind of like introducing him again, and it was like he was picked up by this weirdo at a yard sale, and he basically Chucky killed his cat. It seemed like.
So John Wick, basically.
Yeah, but then
maybe it's a dog. I don't know.
There's a lot of drama as well, but it's just like, okay, this is a cool way to get Chucky back into the fold.
Seen John Wick.
And then later on, I don't know what episode this was, but I saw like another episode like a couple nights later, and then turns out like Chucky, you know how he has his like Odue Dumbella, give me the power I beg of you, and he could possess, like how he possessed the doll. Well, it turns out he's been studying more voodoo in the past like 20 years or so, and he can possess other dolls and make copies of himself. So he has like this whole Chucky army. And there's like 3 Chuckies, and then bam, turns out he breaks into an insane asylum, spoiler alert, and he possesses a schizophrenic broad, and now he's her. And of course, like, he kills everybody, so it's like, who are they gonna believe? And that's where I'm at now.
So on that note, what is your favorite scary movie?
So my favorite scary movie, it took me a long time to think about this. I love Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2.
Okay.
Specifically, I can't stress that enough. One of my favorite films of all time is actually Shaun of the Dead, which is a comedic take off of Dawn of the Dead. Both great films, and I love. That's actually Hot Fuzz, and I actually
fuck.
And I actually love, like, Edgar Wright's my favorite director, and I love Dawn of the Dead. Zach, what's his name? Zach. What's his name? Zach.
It's your movie, dude.
Oh my God. The guy who did Justice League, Zach something. Whatever the fuck his name is.
Snyder?
Zack Snyder. Yes, he did.
I don't even know.
He did,
I guessed.
He did 2003's Dawn of the Dead, of course. But I will say my favorite scary movie, because I love the movie Scary Movie so much, is probably Scream.
That is a good one. It terrified me as a kid, though.
I love and still love I've had the biggest crush on Neve Campbell since I saw her on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Really? That's when it started? For me, it was Wild Ones.
She was on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Wild
95,
Things, Wild Things,
95,
Wild
96. But yeah, dude. Then I saw Wild Things.
Yeah.
Then I saw Scream. I'm like, oh man.
Wild
I love
Things
this girl.
opened up a whole new world
Dude.
for me. I was like, oh wait a minute, I
God.
found something else I like. Holy
Bro.
shit, this is going to be in my search category
Nev
forever
Campbell.
now.
Please, you're welcome on the podcast
Yes.
anytime.
Oh, my God.
So I love Nev Campbell. But then, like, especially now you look back at it after watching the Wayans Brothers comedy Scary Movie, Scream is just a straight-up comedy at this point. But then, of course, like, Scream 4 kind of, like, reinvented horror as the original Scream did. But Scream personally...
Scream was great for me. I'm sorry to interject.
You're good.
I want to point this out. We're kind of almost calling back to the Dixie Chicks, for those that remember.
Okay.
How could you possibly forget?
How could you forget?
How could you forget?
The Chicks, excuse us, the Chicks.
So, yes, you're right. Thank you. The Dixie, the Chicks. We're going back to that sort of in a little bit. We're talking about Nev Campbell being, instead of the ditzy girl who just walks into getting murdered during horror movies, you have this one who's actually smart and figures it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a neat turning point.
Matthew Lillard, Jamie Kennedy, the cast is amazing. David Arquette,
the cast is
Courtney
amazing,
Cox.
But I am specifically talking about the fact that before this, and look, Scream's probably not the first one. I don't know enough about them to say that it is. But it's got to be one of the first, because I remember so many older horror movies where it's just like, I'm a girl and I'm useless.
Well,
and that's bullshit.
That's the part about Scream. They took like all the horror tropes and made it meta.
And girls are so much smarter than boys. And so it's always been bullshit to me that they're the dumb ones in the fucking horror movies. It should be it should be the guys that are just like, maybe we should go hide behind the chainsaws. Like fucking,
even like paying tribute to the trope in like Psycho, where you had this big star actress gets killed in the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
You had Drew Barrymore open the film.
Right.
Bam, she gets fucking hung out like with her guts splayed out, you know. And then of course, you know, the whole Scream. If you haven't seen Scream, go see it.
Scream, especially Scream.
Quintessential.
Did you watch the MTV miniseries on Scream?
I'm not sure.
Okay, well that was actually fairly good. What I saw.
I've seen episodes.
But
now that you mentioned
we got to
it.
digress.
Yeah, we
got to digress. We have spent like 20 minutes talking about one thing.
That's fine. We're on
So,
pace.
we've talked about favorite horror movie.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this now. Set the stage a little bit differently. What is your first real memory of Halloween?
So, my first real memory of Halloween. I went trick-or-treating, and I was dressed up as the Red Power Ranger.
This is the best Power Ranger.
And I remember this because I had to have some boots, right? The costume didn't come with boots. Didn't even come with boot pad covers, right? So we're like, all right, well,
Fucking capitalism.
motherfucker needs boots. So we went to the thrift store. We got me a pair of cowboy boots. I'm like, you know, like 5 or so. And, yeah, I had to get these really, like, fucking flexing boots. And I feel like that's the only time I ever wore those boots. And then I was like, all right, Red Power Ranger. I want to be the Green Ranger, obviously, because he's my favorite. Green's my favorite color. Didn't have the Green Ranger, so like, all right, I'll do the Red Ranger. It's fine. I'll do this. That was my first trick-or-treating that I remember. The next year, I was a clown, for sure. And I wore my mom's shoes and stuffed some socks on the front. It was like fucking miserable all night. You imagine wearing adult shoes at age 6.
Oh yeah, terrible.
Walking like fucking 5 miles.
So my first,
The heavy ass bag of candy.
my first real memory was so I have this like odd haunted house memory where we went to this haunted house that was near my house, and the whole family's going through it, and I didn't know like what to expect. This is my first haunted house, and I was way too young. Like, shout out to my parents for not fucking thinking this through at all, but I was way too young for this sort of thing. And we go in, and we're all jammed into this area, and then suddenly the lights go off, and this crazy looking thing is just like, pull the rope. And I was not having it. I start squelching, screaming, getting me out of there, and I kind of ruined the whole thing. And but that's not like a for real memory. I do remember the pull the rope shit and that like night, but super vaguely. My first like consistent memory of Halloween, I believe I was in like first grade, and we were so call back 9/11. So we were.
You were Al Qaeda for Halloween.
No, I wasn't. That would have been crazy. I was Godzilla. And my costume was too small. And it was just like this paper thin fucking costume and this ridiculous big dinosaur head that just sat on top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I would bend over, this thing would just rip the crotch out more.
Oh.
And so all night I'm dropping candy and just like, I'm just basically just in tatters. I look like I got attacked by Godzilla by the end of the night.
Did you have like a plastic bag or a pumpkin, or did you use a pillowcase?
We used pillowcases.
Oh, of course.
We were the OG. We used pillowcases.
Pillowcases or get the fuck out, right?
So we would use multiple pillowcases because we would go to the rich neighborhoods.
You ever steal some kids' candy?
No, I did not. I thought about it one year, and me and my friends hid in the bushes, and we were gonna do it. But then like we saw kids walking by, and we were like, can't just be taking kids candy. Like, fucking, I love Halloween. I don't want to take that from people.
Way to be the bigger.
I know. I don't just say it to toot my own horn, but it is one of the few things I have in my life that I can look back on and be like, I'm glad I did that.
So.
But yeah, my mom would actually take us to like the rich neighborhoods, and so she was like, yeah, in my part of Kentucky, this probably isn't a normal thing, but we'd all call them Uppity-villes. So like we were actually pretty well off too, so it's kind of funny because we were quite well off, not like on that side, but on the other side of my family, and so we'd go to all these like Uppity-villes, quote unquote, and
where they give you full size Kit Kats.
I'm talking walking. Like, so we would have multiple pillowcases, and we would literally just like we'd fill up a pillowcase, put it in the truck, and then move to the next spot and have a new pillowcase.
You ever get like
we got fucking candy.
You ever get any change for Halloween? Like, here's a quarter and some pennies.
I got like money one time, like not change, but like money.
I got a bicentennial quarter for Halloween one time.
I remember getting $5 bill one time.
I was like, whoa. Well, I never got that much.
I was like, I don't know if you're passing this out to everybody or if you're just like, I won or something, but
I had one guy.
Cool with it.
One year, he was handing out candy. He was always like an older teenager from the neighborhood. He couldn't trick-or-treat anymore, but he was still into it, you know? And he was like, if you guys dress as Dragon Ball Z characters, we'll give you 2 bags of candy. So I looked at my friend and was like, yo, we got to. But it was still like early 2000s, so like those didn't exist yet. Which I'm glad nowadays you just go to Spirit Halloween and get a fucking Vegeta or Goku outfit. Like, God bless them. Like, holy shit. It took us 20 years to get a fucking sandwich.
This used to be a fucking Waffle Hut, but now it's Spirit Halloween.
I know. Did you have a favorite costume?
My favorite... this goes into what I want to talk about more of as we talk about this, which is like over the years.
Yeah.
But my favorite Halloween costume I ever did was my Bob Ross costume, which was last year.
Okay.
Because my hair, I had just started growing it out. Well, no, I had started growing it out like just as COVID started. So I got my like last haircut, right? Literally, my last haircut right now was like 2 weeks before COVID was like lockdown. You can't go get a haircut or anything. Mm-hmm. I kind of saw the writing on the wall. I was telling all my friends before anything was like on the fucking
news. I gotta
news.
commit to this.
I was one of those guys, and my hairdresser, because I'm super awkward at shopping for hairdressers, she was going to college. So I was like, well, fuck, you're going to college. I got this crazy shit happening with COVID. I'm gonna go ahead and just get one more good haircut. And I got it cut, and then she went to college. COVID happened, and I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just not gonna cut my hair right now. And I haven't cut it since. And it was just the perfect timing that my hair looked amazing. I could put on a blue shirt, hold a paint palette, and just let my girlfriend put some like Cantu shea butter stuff in my hair. Poof.
That's all you need.
It's all you need. That's all you need. Shout out to Cantu shea butter.
You need.
And I mean, I was like, it was perfect. And then I went to the office. You know the office well now. And I did the Halloween contest there, and everybody was so mad.
There's a Halloween contest there?
There was a Halloween contest.
Oh.
There might be this year. It might be on Halloween. I won't be able to be there. Either way, we did the costume contest on Halloween.
Or Chipotle would always give out burritos if you came in costume.
Bruh, I won.
Did you?
I won $50.
Wow.
I won $50. And everybody was so mad at me because I just wore a blue shirt. That's all I fucking did.
Shit, man, that's all it takes sometimes.
So that was my favorite Halloween costume because that was the most successful one for me.
I can definitely get down with that. Red Power Ranger is pretty damn good. I mentioned being a clown at one point. I tried never to go like too commercial, you know, like want to be like your Harley Quinn. Not that I'd be Harley Quinn anyway.
You would be her like 3 years later.
Maybe.
But not the year that she's popular.
Nah, definitely not.
You're just a hipster.
So, if I'm being honest, my favorite Halloween costume was probably one that I got to choose myself, right? Because when you're like a kid, your parents just like, you'll love this, you'll be fine, you know.
Yeah.
Be a ninja, blah blah.
Pikachu.
Yeah. So, and it was my last year trick or treating, and I almost didn't go that night because it was the first year I went like by myself and everything. You know, didn't even have a guardian with me. And I was in this new neighborhood at the time, and I had this 99-cent Halloween mask from Walgreens. It's Frankenstein. It's actually up on the wall right there.
Oh, shit.
You can see it.
Yes. Oh, man, that is classic.
I wore that mask with an orange t-shirt and blue jeans. And I got to choose that myself. And I was 12 at the time. I was like, well, I can't go trick-or-treating next year. I don't have much else for a costume, but this will do.
So
It worked out.
So this is a great segue to this is what I really want to fucking talk about. What did Halloween mean to you when you were that young kid? Like, I'm talking like elementary school kid.
Candy.
What did Halloween mean to you?
Candy.
Candy?
That's all it meant.
So you but not just like the day. Did the season mean anything? Did you feel a shift in the air when you were like, oh man, it's that time of year again?
And it was before I watched football, but there's definitely that first initial, like the first gear of the seasons is like football season.
Oh yeah.
Second gear, definitely when the pumpkin spice lattes come out. Of course, it gets quicker and quicker every year, which is, you know, a thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Even some of the movies, like I said, nowadays, like I have this affinity for Scream, even, you know, some of the other ones I mentioned. But as a kid, I would always watch Under Wraps. Are you familiar with that one? The Disney Channel original movie?
I am not.
So they summoned a mummy, and they had to reunite him with his true love, which is like a female mummy, before midnight on Halloween or something like that. And they actually did a remake this year, which I had not seen. But even those things, like you watch these films, and later on you get to like the more gory stuff and whatnot, the R-rated, the titties, that sort of thing. But for me as a kid, like, pretty much Halloween was like, yo, we going out, we dressing up, and honestly, it's such an, like, to harp on the pun, I guess the pun intended to say an obtuse thought, that you just go around, knock on random people's houses dressed up, and they give you candy. That was it. It was A, B, and C.
Love it.
Dress up, go to the house, get candy, repeat.
For me, it's very similar to you. Like candy. Candy's what fucking mattered.
I want candy.
My mom was always like on top of Halloween. Like, so like you would get off the bus, you're like, all right, it's a nice, cool, crisp fall day, ready to do this. Fucking walk in, mom's got costumes ready. She's got buckets or pillowcases and shit ready. And then, man, you just be out the door, headed up to the Uppity-villes, gonna go get that candy nice and early.
Mm-hmm.
We would hit every single nice neighborhood.
You ever go to the same house twice?
I don't think we did. We were probably honest about it. Although, to be totally real, if my mom made us do it, I didn't really know it because I was a kid, and I was just like, "There's another house. There's another house." I would be banging on houses that didn't have lights on. That's my fault.
I take it you never took like one, like the one they just left the bowl out and was like, take one.
Probably did a little bit of that. I was like, you know what? Take one handful. All right.
Yeah. What does take one mean?
What does take one mean? It's subjective. This is philosophy, and I'm fucking 5.
I would just put out a take one sign and leave an empty bowl. Be like, oh, sorry, you snooze, you lose.
That's smart.
Smart, right?
Smart.
It's like I was there. Your cohorts are the ones that are just jerks.
So building on what I just asked you, and you just mentioned your fantastic Frankenstein costume. You said that was the last year you trick or treated.
Yeah. So it meant a lot to me. Like I said, I was on my own.
Tell me about that transition, and then what it meant after that transition.
So it was really interesting because, like I said,
what was the next phase?
It was my last time going trick or treat. Like I knew the next year I wouldn't have the luxury of even sneaking by. You know what I mean?
Right. They were gonna
especially
be like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is bullshit.
I agree.
There could be kids could be out there fucking doing drugs, all kinds of crazy shit.
I completely agree.
If they are coming to your house in costumes, give them some fucking candy.
I have 17-year-olds come here,
sons of
even if they have like a little like it's a cheap Dollar Tree mask on. They're in for the season.
They could be doing other things.
I will say, when you have a 17-year-old without a costume, I'm like, come on, dude, you could at least try.
Yeah, you gotta go
at least try.
Go get a dollar store mask.
Yeah, put a sticker on your face.
Right.
At the very least.
Something.
Like, call yourself Ziggy Stardust. Just put a little red star on there. It's like, I'll believe it. Whatever.
But anyway, I'm done cutting you off. Tell me, how was that transition for you?
So after that, it was like I knew that I had to give candy after that. I knew that was it, right? There's my trick-or-treat days were over, but at the same time, I still loved the shit out of it, and I knew that I want to give the spooks. So I wanted to make the haunted house that I would not want to go up to. You know?
What you're doing outside now.
That's what we're doing right now, yes.
He's doing it very, very well, too.
We got the spooky music. We got the fucking fog machines, the lights, everything to disorient you as much as possible. We're in a much better populated area now, so that's a lot more fun because there's like, instead of like, 30 kids, we get like 400 kids, and it's wonderful because each one of them gets fucking scared. And like I said, I'm one of those houses that you walk up there, you see everything, you get halfway through that fucking walkway, and you're like, you know what? I don't need the candy that bad. Like, I'm terrified as is. What's one house? Do I really need that one last Reese's? Like, there's some shit going on. There's probably someone behind that bush over there. I'm good.
Shenanigans. I call it shenanigans.
That's the kind of house I strive to be. Cause I think.
So you went from like, okay, trick or treating is not really for me anymore, to I'm just gonna be on the other side.
I want to scare people.
Okay.
That is the core of where I'm at now.
That was the watershed.
Yes, because it's like, and not that I was ever, I guess, like in my later years doing scare, but as a kid, you're like, when you approach those houses as you're trick-or-treating, you're like, sure, some of them have decorations, some just have a light on. That's fine. That's totally fine. As long as you're giving out candy, that's the spirit of it, right? Especially as you're a kid. As you're a kid, that's all you care about. You don't give a shit about anything in the yard. You just want the candy. But when you do have those houses that have such elaborate decorations that you're legitimately shaking in your boots, that's a whole nother experience. Yes.
Your cowboy boots and your red Power Ranger outfit.
I've literally had kids walk halfway up, shaking, like literally just trembling, and then just hightail it, complete 180.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's what
it's about. Because then you run after them and you break character of like the ghoul that you're dressed up as. You're like, hey man, here's some candy, and everyone has a good time. Mission accomplished. They got their candy. You got the spook.
Mine is far sadder than that. Far more sad than that.
Do tell.
So there was divorce in my family, so I went and lived with my mom for a little bit after the divorce, but then that didn't work out, so I ended up living with my dad. As I said, mom was just like the expert at Halloween, helping you in costumes. What do you want to be? We can figure this out. And then I moved in with my dad. And, like, for a couple years, Mom always had me, right? Like, Mom was always like, I'm going to come by and grab you, trick-or-treating, that's what we're going to do. And then one year, she just wasn't able to do it. And so it fell to my stepmom. And my stepmom and me, we don't really vibe.
Right.
So she was like, we're going to put a blanket on you. And she wrote boo on it. And I was a ghost. And I was
a ghost one time.
I was also, for the record, this is like 5th, 6th grade. So I have done way better costumes with my fucking mom, like when I was a kid, and now we're talking about like I'm almost in middle school and I've got this fucking booze shit going on. No.
Yeah.
And so then my fucking stepbrother was like, "Oh, I got a great idea," and he goes and gets a construction hat, puts it on me because my dad works in power plant.
A dead construction worker. I always love the girls that were like dead cheerleaders or whatever.
He goes,
like,
okay,
cool.
Now look, you're a ghost of a construction worker. I didn't even fucking go. I was like, you know what? I'll just pass. And so I didn't even have the like you had the foresight to be like, probably my last year doing this. I didn't have that. I had a year before, which I vaguely remember. Don't even know what the fuck I was.
I know.
And then it's just like next year was just like, oh man, I guess I'm not doing this anymore. This isn't gonna work out this year. And then after that, it was just like whatever. It's probably fucking stupid.
Yeah, I might have even been like 13, which I know is like the hard cutoff.
Yep.
Typically. And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can get by. I go to a couple of houses, get some candy, just for the sake of it. And actually, my brother, when he was, I want to say he was 12 actually at the time. Like we had one just old witch, pun intended, who was like, how old is he? He can't be trick or treating. And he was just like, I'm done after this, which is a shame because like,
yeah, he
put the effort in, like who gives a shit? Like, it's fucking candy.
For me, it became far more. I can point to that, that year at my stepmom's and my dad's when Halloween did, like, I was very, very disappointed, very upset because my Halloween was kind of ruined. Like, this is what I look forward to, is trick-or-treating. And it was kind of ruined for me. And then that year, it was kind of like, okay, well, maybe this is going to be about something different. And so the next year, it was far more about the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was far more amped about, like, I noticed the coolness in the air more.
Oh, yeah.
I noticed, you know, the changing leaves. I noticed those things a little bit more because I wasn't just, like, laser focused on candy and trick-or-treating. I was like, it's the season, and I love it, and I just want to go for a walk, and I just want to fucking spend time.
You
want to
get some apple cider and wear a sweater.
Yes, we're gonna get to that. That's further down the road for me when I fully committed. But I can point to that transition between I'm a trick or treater to I'm not a trick or treater to when I really started appreciating the season, and that's when it really started for me. So what else do you have? What else do you want to talk about?
So, let's talk about favorite candy.
Oh, yeah. So are we talking about specifically what is my favorite candy, or are you asking me what is
more
my
so
favorite?
what you get for Halloween? Like, no one's handing out, like, Toblerones. I mean, they might be, but...
This is a hot take here. I'm going to just throw this out there. It's a candy I look forward to every year for this specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you might already know where I'm going with this, and I'll fucking stab you if you don't like it.
Stab you. Murder you like Alec Baldwin.
I will murder you like Alec fucking Baldwin with a prop pistol. Candy corn.
So you're pro candy corn.
100%.
How do you feel about the chocolate pumpkins?
The pumpkins are okay. I'm a bigger fan of the candy corn, but I mean the pumpkins are good.
I agree.
I'm not gonna knock.
I could do without the harvest.
Have you seen the payday trick?
No.
Are you familiar with this?
No.
Okay, listen. We're gonna share
like
some.
the chocolate peanut.
No. You're not even fucking ready.
Okay.
We are gonna share some real shit with the viewing public right now. If you listen to this pod, you're getting inside intel. Okay, you're getting some brand new shit that nobody else knows about except you and us. If you mix a baggie half and half with candy corn and peanuts, any peanuts, just use regular roasted peanuts. Planters peanuts works. It tastes exactly like a bag full of Payday Bar.
Really?
I swear to God.
I'll have to try that.
I swear to God. It is the craziest fucking hack. Like, you hear people say, oh yeah, this tastes just like that. And you're like, I guess I can kind of see it. No. It tastes exactly. Because what Payday is sweet shit encased in
it's caramel peanuts.
That's it. And that is what
I can see that.
That's what happens in your mouth. I'm telling you, it's amazing. It is insane. Do it.
So my favorite candy, I think, to get at Halloween, and it's like one of those things that's like very exclusive to Halloween, but I love the little skeletons that you put together.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes they come in a coffin, but sometimes not. But regardless, you get a little head, you put them on the torso, you put the little legs together. It's such a grand event if you can manage to collect all the bones needed to make a skeleton.
How do you feel about the pretzel, little bag of pretzels?
Let me tell you something. So,
oh God, hot take.
Last year, it wasn't last year, it was the year before last year, pre-COVID, when I was getting some Halloween candy at my local Wally World. It's Walmart. And this one chick was like, I'll just get some pretzels. And you know what I said? I said, well, I know whose house I'm not going to.
Whoa!
I was like, fuck that. Do not give me pretzels.
I'm also, I guess this is another hot take, didn't really know it, but I'm a huge fan of the pretzels.
I love pretzels.
No,
but
I do
do not give me pretzels for Halloween.
No, see, this is my thing, though. I fucking love, and you're Jewish. You should appreciate this, too, the fucking levity of it. You like that?
Maybe I never got it.
Do you like my fucking levity joke?
Maybe
Christian?
I never got it as a kid. As an adult, I feel like I would hate pretzels as a kid.
No,
like, what the fuck is this?
My thing is, even as a
kid,
give
me a popcorn ball.
Even as a fucking kid, all right, I'd be like 6 fucking like fucking Reese's cups deep, going in on a fucking fun-sized milk dud, and I'd be like, you know what though? We got this bag of pretzels, maybe a little bit of salty. I've been doing a lot of sweet, maybe a little bit of salty.
I get that.
You break it up, and you can eat a bunch more sweet.
See, nowadays you got the Take Fives, which are kind of like a nice little mix of that.
Listen, when I was young and uncultured, I didn't understand why there was ginger with my sushi.
Oh yeah.
But then I grew the fuck up, and I realized that's a palate cleanser.
It's like eating French fries with a milkshake, you know?
Yeah, it's a palate cleanser. You eat that ginger so that you can really enjoy the next bite. And that is exactly what the pretzels are in your fucking trick-or-treating
You know,
bag.
maybe if I got pretzels in my bag, I'd probably appreciate it nowadays. But as a kid, I feel like I'd be like, what the fuck is this?
I'm probably with you.
But also as a kid, how did you feel about those little, like, I don't know what you'd call them, and I don't know where the hell you'd get them, but they were like orange, sometimes brown, sometimes black, wax wrappers with like peanut butter. What the fuck was that?
It was
what
caramels.
The fuck?
They were caramels, weren't they?
But they were like peanut butter.
But yes, I know exactly what you're fucking
like.
talking about.
I don't know what to call them.
I know exactly
like, what the fuck was that?
Dude, my mom's
Where do you get those?
My mom's parents had a bowl of those that had to have lasted for fucking decades. I swear, every time we went over there, it was the same black and fucking orange wrappered shits, and I'd be fucking hitting that candy dish because my grandma on my dad's side had a fucking candy drawer. I called it the fucking goodie drawer. You can go over there any time of day, anytime you wanted. Pop open that goodie drawer, you got snacks. So I'd go over to my fucking grandparents' house on my mom's side, like where's the fuck y'all's goodie drawer at? They'd be like, we have a dish with
it's in the glass dish on the coffee table.
We have a dish with candy which shouldn't be hard, but yet is fucking inexplicably hard. What the fuck? Yeah, that is some bullshit.
I don't know what those were.
They weren't even all that bad, but it's because I kept looking forward to different candy.
There was like no brand name. There's always like a handful of those, and you're like, man, I don't.
Do you want sweet shit in a wax wrapper?
Yeah, and
try some sweet shit in a wax wrapper.
And it would be like you get like, okay, for every like one Reese's and one Smarties, I'm gonna add like one of those weird fucking orange waxes in there just to kind of balance things out.
Gotta get them out.
You'd like partition it just to like
use them.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna not eat that shit.
I don't have a bag of these things fucking left like my goddamn grandparents.
I tell you what, there's one time, I'll tell a story. I had a Now and Later, and I bit into that Now and Later, and it got stuck, and it pulled my molar straight out.
Oh shit!
Full on.
I had a piece of Laffy Taffy do it, not
Full
from Halloween,
on.
but for real. I had the same thing happen with a piece of Laffy Taffy at a racetrack on a cold day.
I believe it. Like I just like bit into the Now and Later, thinking it was like a Starburst.
Right.
You know, not a Starburst.
No, rip.
Not a Starburst at all.
Was this baby mower?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Baby mower. Thank God. Yeah. So I bit into it. I'm like, like 8 or 9 years old, like just losing teeth at that point, and I bit into it and just like, holy shit! Like I could not get my jaw unhinged. So I don't fuck with Now and Laters to this day.
Damn.
It's a sorry excuse for
a
Starburst, I'd say. They're just not as good.
You might be right.
They're just not as good.
What
is that your worst candy? You'd say the peanut butter thing.
The worst candy?
Yeah.
No. As much as I am a root beer fanatic. I love root beer. It's one of my favorite things in the world. However, I'm a root beer snob. So I'm not a fan of your Barks, and I'm not a fan of your A&W, and I'm not a fan of your mug. Okay. I used to go to like encampments.
I like A&W at the restaurant with the double chili cheeseburger and French fries.
If you're there, you're getting it, obviously. Yeah. But what I'm talking about when I say root beer, I go to like encampments, like 1800s encampments and shit like that. And they have like bottled root beer in a blue glass bottle that they made fresh. And that shit don't compare to nothing. It is so fucking good. And then you get the birch beer and the sarsaparilla beer. That's a more Amish thing.
Sarsaparilla.
That's a more Amish
is one of my
thing.
favorite fucking sodas that we sell at the Warnock Produce sometimes.
Oh my god.
Holy shit. People don't know about sarsaparilla, bro.
They don't.
Get on
Amish country.
fucking
Amish country
sarsaparilla. It is the best pop you will ever fucking have.
Oh, it's so good.
Am I wrong? Am I telling any tales out of class here?
Listen to me. If you have ever drank a root beer and thought, wow, I wish this tasted 1,000 times stronger. Sarsaparilla!
Sarsaparilla.
That is exactly what is there. That is exactly what they made for you. But I digress. So anyway, I'm sorry. To answer your question, I say all of that to say I fucking love root beer. But I hate those stupid little root beer barrels.
Ooh, they pretty bad.
They taste like shit. I
don't want them. I don't want them.
That and bottle caps.
I probably like bottle caps better than the root beer.
Oh yeah, everyone does. But listen, nobody likes those root beer barrels unless you're a fucking 107-year-old guy who died.
Dude, the older I get,
ago.
the more I appreciate Werthers. So
Werthers are great. If I catch fucking Werthers in my bag, I'm a pretty happy dude. You give me the apple filled, I'm gonna come back to your house a couple of times. But yeah, the fucking root beer barrels and the bottle cap, specifically because of the fake ass root beer flavored ones.
Oh yeah,
which I couldn't stand. So there's a similar thing here.
Okay.
I couldn't stand the fake ass root beer flavor.
Yeah.
And so those two.
Those
candies,
are my least. Again, I love root beer myself, but those are my least favorite bottle caps. You're absolutely 100% right.
I'm sort of similar with coffee. I love coffee. Coffee's one of my favorite things in the world. But you give me coffee flavored anything, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna fucking like it.
You know, I almost bought a mixed pack of beverages tonight that had coffee flavored, and I saw it. I was like, nah, get the fuck out of here.
Good idea.
Get the fuck out of here. We are drinking some pumpkin, some apple pie wine as well, which is very good stuff.
We are apple pie wine. I've been working at Food Lion for almost over 3 years now. Over 3 years, almost 3.5 years, and I see this apple pie wine every single year, and goddamn is it good. I don't know, it's literally just apple pie. Oliver's the brand. You gotta look super hard to see the brand. This is Oliver brand apple pie wine. It tastes like liquid apple pie, for the record. Oh god.
We got this.
We do. So I wanted to ask you this. So you have the initial transition where you go from a kid to adolescent, right? And you're no longer the trick-or-treaters. What was the next transition for you? When did you notice the next shift change?
So I think, I either watch like a scary movie at least every Halloween. Typically it's Night of the Living Dead. Just a nice black and white, typical classic. Zombies, what more could you ask for? Great background flick. After that, I think as an adult, we try to find some deeper meaning behind why the hell are we carving pumpkins and handing out candy to people dressed as whatever, Right. And then you get into things like Samhain, Dia de los Muertos.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Yes.
So really, you got to think about what we do with Halloween, and you think of like ghosts and witches and all that stuff, and there's a reason for that because, it is a time to honor our ancestors, and we do that by honoring those that have passed, those that are in the dead world, ghosts perhaps, in the spooky natured realm, if you will.
Get it?
And really, it's just a fun way, I think, to honor those that have come before us and to celebrate their lives in a fun manner and to low-key kind of, transfer those energies to the next generation of trick-or-treaters. Hopefully.
So, very similar to me, my transition came in the very similar fashion. I went from someone who just sort of recognized the seasons to getting into high school. I fell in with a group of witches. I say that respectfully.
Some nice pagans.
With all the love. A couple of pagans. Very nice pagan girls. Really good friends back in the day. And they were just super neat. And I was absolutely the kind of kid who was like, well, this is edgy enough to make me cool, right? And so I just sort of fell into it. But I fell into it, and I went super hard for a couple years, and I was like, I guess I'm a witch now, or a warlock, if you will.
Of course.
But it just wasn't me. But I did develop in that time period a love of the lore around Halloween.
Oh yeah.
And even though, like we talked about last episode, I'm not really a believer in spirits and stuff like that, I still can appreciate it around Halloween. I get put in the mood where I'm like, you know what? Maybe the spirits are there. Whatever. Like
there's that shadow of a doubt.
I do. I do put out the pumpkin. I do that every year because the pumpkin, actually, you probably know this, is to ward off the evil spirits.
Of course.
So you want to ward off the evil spirits and keep the good spirits coming to your house.
It's like a temporary gargoyle.
Like your relatives and stuff, they can come by. They know it's just pumpkin to keep bad people away. Bad spirits are like, whoa, that pumpkin was fucking crazy. I'm not even gonna fuck with that, and they stay away. That's the lore behind it, whether you believe it or not. And then I also believe in putting out the food, putting out like a couple of treats, not for trick-or-treaters, for your relatives.
Give them some fried chicken and maybe a glass of wine.
It's not
whatever
that
they love.
And it's not that I believe any of it. I don't. But I do it because fucking why not? If my grandma comes to my house, I'm not going to be unprepared.
Exactly.
I never once went to my grandma's house. Never once went to my grandma's house and she didn't have fucking food ready for me. So if Mimi's coming back to my fucking pad
even in like
She's
an
gonna be
etheric form, you know.
She's gonna be fed.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna
for
fucking
sure.
happen. I'm
100%.
putting out food for you, Mimi.
It's
so I don't care what you believe or don't believe. I don't fucking believe it. But around Halloween, I still fucking do it.
It's like it's almost like you can say as simple as like, you know, St. Patrick's Day. It's like a Halloween. It's an excuse to wear an ungaudy amount of green, and drink some beers and give some people some high fives and
I
shit.
also mentioned the haunted house episode, one of my first memories of Halloween. That luckily did not deter me for very long, or forever anyway, as I did in the same time period become very into haunted attractions. Paducah, Kentucky has one of the best haunted attractions in the country. It was featured on Top 10 Haunted Attractions on Travel Channel.
I love watching those.
This was Talon Falls Scream Park in Paducah, Kentucky. And I remember at the height of it, before I even left Kentucky, so this would have been 2013, right? 2012 would have been my last year experiencing Halloween in my hometown. But Talon Falls Scream Park had gotten so big that it literally took us, we bought the pass to do all the attractions. So it started out as like one big attraction, and then it broke up into like one big attraction and a bunch of smaller attractions. You have to take a fucking city bus that they chartered themselves between their own attractions.
Never seen something like that.
Fucking crazy,
big.
right?
Yeah.
Pretty big. You had to go to the fucking community college, hop a bus, and that bus had one job, which was to run between all the attractions of this Scream Park in different places all over the fucking county. And so it would take you actually walking through haunted houses. If you bought the pass that got you all the haunted houses, right? At the height, it was like 5 different haunted attractions. It would take you like 4 hours to walk through.
Crazy.
No shit. I'm not talking about your lines. I'm not talking about the bus rides. I'm talking about to walk through all this shit. You're talking like 4 hours of just walking through getting spooked. And this shit was legit.
Best, isn't it?
It was one of the biggest employers in our fucking city.
Wow.
Because every single year, a massive portion of the young people in our city went to work at Talon Falls. Fantastic. So I developed that love. I moved out here to Virginia, started going to Howl-Scream, stuff like
Wonderful. Busch Gardens Howl-Scream. Check it out.
Busch Gardens Howl-Scream. It's just a gigantic Scream Park. The haunted attractions are actually not that good. The haunted houses at Busch Gardens always suck, and they're always
nice
the same
walking
ones.
by and there's like creepy clowns like kind of semi-chasing after you.
Yeah, I like the hordes of people in costume that just walk around and the different sections.
There's this one thing where like I was like going through a line. There was like this scary chicken guy, and I was just like hiding behind my friends. I was like, please don't let me go any further. It's just a horrible experience. So this in the best way.
This brings me to the last one that I want to really ask. The last thing I really want to get across. What does Halloween mean for you now? We're in the season right now. What is it when you started feeling those first tingles, those first tendrils of cold fall air? What did you feel?
So it means a lot more this year because last year it kind of got canceled due to COVID, you know, and I think it's going to be full force this year. And regardless,
that was how I felt about like Ren Fair.
I want to hand out the candy is secondary. Like obviously you're going to get like a lollipop and a fucking Reese's and maybe some other party favor, but you're going to get spooked. Like I said, I want to be that house that you hesitate to go up the fucking driveway because it's so goddamn scary. There's scary music playing in the background. There's lights everywhere. There's fog machines. There's cemeteries. There's several witches. There's live actors roaming the yard, prepared to get in your face and scare you. To me, that is Halloween. That is what I fucking live for. Like, anything to give you an experience on such a night. Like, 'cause, like, I really love that, like, the house I'm at right now is just, like, right in the center of town.
Oh, it's perfect.
And
it's
everyone comes here.
Looking, it's spooky looking. It's got a great location.
Like spiders and fucking skeletons, man. Like all that shit. I just want to scare people, and then at the end of it, know that there's solace, that there's candy to be had. To me, that's the most important thing. On a, I guess you could say, commercial level, but of course, again, you do have, you know, the honoring your ancestors and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But above all, like, that one night a year where you get to dress up as a fucking maniac, put paint and blood on your face, and just run around and just scare people.
Amazing.
Priceless.
Amazing.
Priceless.
For me, I see Halloween more than ever, and this is literally a development in the last 2 years. Halloween means to me socialness in a way that it never meant before. So Halloween was always just like, okay, it's my turn. You know, it's like my time. I love this time period. I'm sorry, not time period. I love this period of the season. I'm just kind of like ready for this. But it was always a thing that was mostly myself because I didn't go trick-or-treating anymore. Didn't really have that many friends. Didn't get invited to a ton of parties or any party. And that changed last year when I got invited to my first, not only Halloween party, but my first party. My girlfriend swears up and down that anything that I ever classified as a party is what she would have classified as a kickback or a hangout or something like that.
It's all semantics, right?
She has a cute little term for it, but she says a party has to have a certain number of people. And so by her definition, my first party was last year.
Okay.
It was a Halloween party. I did not dress up. But
Shame.
She did. She was Catwoman. She was gorgeous.
I bet she did a great job.
She had them cheeks all out. I'll show you pictures later.
I got some pictures of a Catwoman myself.
She had them cheeks all out. It was fantastic. But I got to also watch a marriage, and I want to talk about this very, very carefully, because the gentleman in this story is still a friend of mine. The girl is most certainly not. But I watched a marriage disintegrate at my first Halloween party. Like, this fucking bitch.
Someone's in a swashbuckler outfit. Someone's just a Catwoman. A marriage is falling apart in the corner there.
Yes. So, like, literally, this bitch cheated on her man with another girl. Which, by the way, nothing wrong with that inherently if you're not cheating on someone. Nothing wrong with that, let's be clear. But homeboy found out by opening up his car and finding a woman between his wife's legs.
Wow.
Well, yeah, that's pretty fucking rough. Now, here's the thing. We had
talk about spooky.
We had no context for that. What we had was him coming outside on the deck getting irate and yelling at us to all leave. And we decided in unison, almost like a little union, to just not do that and go back inside and rack the beer pong table.
That's scary.
And we had to re-rack it because he had cleared it with his arm onto Catwoman, a.k.a. my fucking girlfriend. He just cleared a beer pong table onto her and onto his wife's computer, soon-to-be ex-wife. And yeah, so I don't want to talk too cavalierly about this because it was a horrific event for him, and we all thought that he was the problem that night. I'll say that. And I know this is a dumb digression, but we all thought he was the problem that night, and we found out...
It's the new face of fear for adult party-going Dylan.
And we found out later, actually, he was the dude who was fucking wronged. This bitch was doing crazy shit. Yeah, Twilight Zone shit, right? And anyway, so now we're really good friends, or fairly good friends anyway. But so that was my first Halloween party. But now, I tell you that story, tell you this story. This year, for Halloween, I have 3 fucking parties.
Trace.
I mean, I have made it. I am obviously the most popular guy in the world.
Clearly, Mr. Popularity himself, coming from me.
I mean, look at me now, 17-year-old Dylan. You didn't think this was going to be the case. You didn't think you were going to be literally not only invited to parties, but asked to provide services for parties.
Going to parties, watching marriages break up before your very eyes.
I'm talking about, and when I say services, let's be clear about something. I'm talking about my fucking charcuterie boards. That's the service
I've seen them.
I provide at a party.
Separated by rosemary sprigs.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful works of art.
I put some fucking work into it. Thank you, Chris.
And all I could offer is some spray can cheese on a cracker today.
Sadly, Chris's produce department at our store does not carry pomegranates. So for all
it's a December
So for
thing.
all of the listeners on here that will be attending the party where I have the charcuterie board, I'm sorry. You can all blame Chris that there won't be any pomegranate.
All right, we're running out of time here, but do you want to discuss? We can save it for next time if you want to. But biggest fright?
Biggest fright?
Yeah, every time you got like scared.
Oh, honestly, no. Mine is very easy. It's that time. It really.
That's what I figured.
Me up. So that one really fucked me up, but also at the same time, just kind of hit it briefly. The Scream mask. Okay. So like I love the movie Scream now.
What about the ones that like you squeeze the heart and the blood pumps through?
My brother had that. My brother had that shit.
Who didn't have those?
So but the Scream mask freaked me the fuck out just because like that like white face.
It's terrifying.
So my brother had that mask one year and it freaked me out so bad that my mom made him change it to the tongue one, which was a more acceptable for me.
Much funnier.
I was like, okay, whatever. At least it's kind of funny.
So, mine, I think I told you this in a pre-pod about my fear of aliens once upon a time.
I think you did, yes. We
So,
talked about this.
more related to Halloween, however, if we're talking strictly Halloween spooks, my friend Joseph, Joey we called it back in the day, it was like weeks before Halloween, he got his Halloween mask. It was an alien. I didn't know this because the way he told me, and me being terrified of aliens at the time, he just knocks on my back door. It's like 7 o'clock at night on a school night. So I'm like, oh, cool, I'll go answer it. I run to the door. I open the door. I see a motherfucking alien standing there. I scream, run to the other end of the house.
Like xenomorph or like a gray?
We're talking like full on gray, but it was like the shiny, like we're talking like circa 1999.
Grays freak me out, man.
We're talking like 1999 with like the super like oil colored eyes. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Grays freak me.
It was a great costume. It was a great costume. But like to open the door and see that, I'm like, fuck no. Because, like, I'm not thinking Halloween. I'm just thinking, like, everyday night.
Grace fucked me up.
So that really scared me. And that's an extension of my fear of aliens at the time, which we'll probably get into a later podcast, I'm sure.
It sounds like a different pod.
Yeah.
I did want to hit one more thing.
The churches, right?
The churches, yes. Yeah. I find this so interesting because the game was given away to me one time.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to love church Halloween nights, trunk or treats and all that. And my church that I grew up in, Spring Bio, we had a big Halloween thing, and then one year I was always a participant, and then a couple, I started getting older, and I was like, maybe I'll start like working the event, stuff like that. So I started working the event, and then I asked my youth pastor one day, just in passing, I said, why do we do this? Like it's Halloween, why won't we do this on a different day when they're not forced to choose between trick-or-treating and coming here? And he looked at me very seriously and said, we don't want them trick-or-treating. That's worshiping the devil. We want to make sure they're not trick-or-treating.
Satan. If you haven't opened that portal yet, open that portal.
Open that portal, guys. So, yeah, he looked at me in the eyes and said, we don't want kids going out and getting candy. That's worshiping the devil. This is 2000, like, fucking 8, 9, 10, and I'm being told this. And I'm like, dude, the satanic panic is over, you fucking griefer. Like, get the fuck over yourself.
The church next door to my place gives away hot dogs for Halloween.
I mean, I'm cool with that.
I am too.
And now there actually were a few churches in like downtown, close to Uppity-Villes, where we frequented, that would have a thing that was attached to just like you could just walk up off the street while you're trick or treating. You pop up and you just get some candy from the church. Wow. That's dope. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just helping out, giving kids candy. That's great.
Of course.
But don't take trick-or-treating away from kids. If you think, if you somehow believe in your twisted fucking brain
that they're gonna they totally omit trick-or-treating just to come to your church, like they're gonna go to your church then go trick-or-treating.
Yeah, they're gonna come to your place, get all the fucking candy, and then go get more. Like just.
And those like sugar-free and shit. Like get the fuck out of here.
Don't be a motherfucker. Just let kids trick or treat. Why do you gotta take that from people? You honestly believe that they're worshiping Satan somehow by getting some candy? They're kids who want fucking candy. Don't take that from people. Stop being like that.
Awful.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, that was more of a rant than anything I want to talk about, but I just was like so irritated when I found out, and I was so disgusted to even be there that night. I hated it that night. I was like, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want to be trying to take people away from. I was like telling people, I was like, go, you should fucking leave this place. Go fucking trick or treating. I was like telling them, like I had the big secret.
Like, don't go trick or treating. Come by my church and get some sugar-free paydays.
Absolutely.
So I think we covered the whole gamut of
I think we did.
what could be.
We covered most. There's probably some stuff we didn't cover. But,
for sure. But that's
Is there anything you wanted to get across?
I had one spooky news story that seemed to be outshined by Alec Baldwin straight murdering.
That's fair.
Someone else. I can read it if you'd like.
If you want, yeah, let's fucking do it real quick. Why
okay.
not?
So
we'll call this the last little segment.
Yeah, this is the spookiest story I heard all year, and again, this is pre Alec Baldwin murder. We'll say.
the time before.
Yeah, the time before. So
that was a big event, changed everything.
This is a news story from Michael Holland of Fox News. I'm sure there's a reporter on it as well. This is where I've got the article from.
You're gonna report Fox News on my podcast? What the fuck, Chris?
So it turns out
we're a Washington Post people here.
It turns out there is such thing as too much pizza.
Say it ain't so.
So a man tormented by a mystery pizza delivers to his house for almost a decade.
So he got, did he have to pay for it?
I'll go on.
Oh, please.
A Belgian man says he has been receiving mysterious pizzas that he never ordered for over a decade. While it may initially seem like an annoying prank, the victim says he has received so many pizzas over the years that he shakes every time he hears a scooter coming down the street.
What a weird fucking country.
Jean van Legdehem, a 65-year-old resident of Turnhout, says delivery drivers bring pizza to his doors at all hours of the day and night. The Independent reports this has been reportedly been going on for almost a decade, and Legdehem has no idea why.
Poor soul. He just got wrapped up in the internet memery somewhere. He's just being plagued by it.
Initially, he reportedly believed there was some sort of mistake, his address and the correct delivery address. Unfortunately, the food kept arriving, sometimes even multiple times in the same day. While he mostly receives pizzas, other fast food items have also been delivered, included in the order. One day, Legdeham reportedly had 10 different delivery drivers come to his place at the same time. One of the deliveries was
That's
for
just good logistics to get that fucking covered.
14 pizzas.
What the fuck? Okay, look, leave him alone.
This is a quote from the gentleman. He says, "I cannot sleep anymore. I start shaking every time I hear a scooter on the street." He told a local news outlet, quote, "I dread that someone will come and drop off hot pizzas yet another time." Horrifying.
Leave him alone.
Just awful.
What? Read his name again.
It is.
Say his name.
Jean van Landeheim.
Jean van Landeheim.
65.
Leave him alone.
Turnout. Adding another odd layer to the mysterious.
Another piece of the pie.
Another piece of the pie, if you will, is the fact that one of Legneham's friends, who lives 20 miles away, has reportedly also been suffering from similar mysterious deliveries. This had led to authorities to believe that the culprit might be someone the two men both know. Unfortunately, for now, the cause remains a mystery.
Man, fuck those people though. Just leave the dude alone. Okay, look.
I don't mind a few free pies.
Look, once or twice, I get it.
For a decade?
Look, you're tormenting the poor man. He's afraid of scooters. He is afraid of scooters now.
He shakes every time he hears a scooter down the street.
I'm all for having fun. Leave Mr. Landeheim. Landeheim. Leave him alone. Leave him the fuck alone.
Imagine getting 14 pizzas at once.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Along with 9 other deliveries that day.
It's not like he's getting them. He has to pay for them.
No, they're already paid for.
Wait, hang on. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Well, why the fuck is he complaining then? Never mind. I thought he was literally just getting okay, you owe us fucking $67
no.
for this pizza.
Well, my understanding of the article, at least, I would assume they're paid for.
Okay. If they're paid for, I don't think it's a problem. But if they're not paid for, then yeah, stop sending him pizza. If you're buying him pizza,
even if they're paid for, if you're getting 14 deliveries in a day and you don't know anything about it, that's terrifying.
Take it to the homeless shelter. But I'm okay, look, yeah, no, it's not okay.
He fucking what is the name of the thing, the conditioned, what is the social conditioning with the bell and the ring and the salivating dog and all that?
Oh, Pavlov.
He Pavlovian conditioned this man to be terrified of scooters because of the amount of pizzas that get delivered to his house.
See, that's some real fuckery.
That is some
get
out of
my head, Pavlov. You're not allowed.
Even if
to do
you're a friend of mine, you fucking ruined my life at that point.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Horrible.
Not okay. Not
Horrible.
okay. Leave Mr. Landeheim alone.
With that said, send any of your pizza requests to @soundsobtuse@gmail.com. Find us on Twitter. Find us on Instagram, SoundCloud, Facebook, as well as TikTok.
Food reviews on TikTok.
Check that out.
That's a thing coming up. I believe we had a very good apple that might be making
the
a play
Snapdragon.
on the Snapdragon
2021
apple.
new Apple
If
coming
you're
your
interested
way.
in that, check us out on TikTok. Check us out.
Check us out on all social media. Anything else that you want to plug before we end this spooktacular episode?
You know, I don't really think so. I think we covered most of the bases. It took a while getting back to you guys, and I'm sorry, but I'm so glad to be back in the booth.
Hopefully this wonderful spooky episode makes up for it.
I hope so. And then hopefully next time, if we don't have a guest, we'll be talking about patriotism.
Yeah. Right in time for election season.
Hell yeah.
But one of those two, either guest or election, and we might just bamboozle you again and just come off on the side end. And who knows?
It's totally possible. Maybe Alec Baldwin will have some more.
Yeah, maybe
news
he goes
for
on a Grand Theft Auto-esque killing spree, and that's the only thing occupying news outlets, much like Prince's death. And it's just all over the news for hours at a day, and it ruins your programming.
So until we see you next time, I hope you'll stay off the street whenever you see Alec Baldwin with a prop gun.
Because he might shoot you.
And your fucking friends.
With that said, don't forget to summon Satan this holiday season.
Please do.
And with that said, from the Sounds Obtuse Podcast, peace and love.
Peace and love. My name's Billy and I love chicken fried eggs!